chapter called At Ease, from In Love, At Ease, Everyday Spirituality with Pramukh Swami. Let us learn about his ability to be at ease as a influential spiritual figure, and perhaps we can learn how to emulate that ourselves. Swamishri's schedule was more of an outline than it was a schedule. To be at ease is to go with the flow in the moment. The number of changes and additions would unnerve any individual, especially when taking into account the extensive travel, often in difficult conditions, and the mental duress of carrying others' problems. The number of interactions alone was overwhelming. But Swamishri believed he was not alone. Hare Krishna Maharaj, which was the personal murti, image of the divine he carried with him everywhere, gave him the strength to keep going with a smile, and for that reason Swamishri was calm, accommodating, and easygoing throughout the day. One afternoon, Swamishri was about to begin a meeting with Narayan Munidas Swami, but was gently interrupted by his personal attendant. "Swamishri, we should eat early. We have to leave for Ahmedabad in the afternoon." Swamishri was not hungry. "It is early. Let's wait for another hour. I have to get through this meeting with Narayan Muni." The attendant insisted. "Swamishri, I want to make sure you have enough time to rest and exercise before we leave for Ahmedabad. Can't we move things up today?" In his desire to help Swamishri, the attendant was imposing a revised schedule that was actually an inconvenience for the Guru. Swamishri appreciated that an early meal would be more helpful to those around him. He gently lifted the warm blanket off his feet and said, "That is fine. Whatever is easier for all of you, my schedule should accommodate others." The bhaktas, the devotees in Los Angeles, had once organized Swamishri's morning puja ritual darshan, approximately 20 kilometers away from his accommodation. This meant that Swamishri had to add 1 hour of commute time between the activities in his already very early morning routine. One of the sadhus, one of the monks traveling with Swamishri, was baffled by the absurdity of the distance. "Don't these guys think this through? 20 kilometers for puja? It is such an inconvenience for you and your schedule." Swamishri tapped him on the hand and interrupted him. "My convenience is secondary. My schedule and daily activities should help those around us. Maybe this was central to where the bhaktas, the devotees, live. One is at ease when one is accommodating. My aim is to do bhakti, loving devotion. I can do it in the car too." Namaste, Gregorji. Hello, Dob Darker. Swamishri loved to read, more than just the letters in need of answers and blessings. He enjoyed reading scriptures, history, current events, and even opinion pieces and analyses on education, politics, and social and foreign politics. After one of our conversations in Mumbai, Swamishri asked me to hand him a book from the table a few feet away. I tried to read the title. "What is it, Swamishri? A theological text of some sort?" Swamishri had a little smirk on his face. "It is in your hand. Why not read the title?" It was a historical analysis of Gujarat's farmland and agricultural policy. I was stunned. I had trouble reading the title because of its technical jargon. Swamishri helped me read it and said, "Now, you will have to help me with my English." Swamishri was also keen on having others read the Bhakta Chintamani. and other hagiographies of Bhagwan Swaminarayan and his gurus, while he had his meals, walked and exercised, or while he was traveling in the car or plane. During the later years, when his travels slowed down, Swamishri would find a few moments in the day to stay abreast of political and social updates from around the world. He would ask Dharma Charandas Swami to cut snippets from newspapers. He read them while munching on a piece of fruit or a handful of nuts offered to Hare Krishna Maharaj in the late afternoon. Sometimes this afternoon reading activity was accompanied by a small bowl of seasoned roasted soybeans, and, of course, Swamishri always made sure that these salted, flavorful snacks were offered to Hare Krishna Maharaj first. Swamishri's eating habits and preferences were hard to decipher, even for the sadhus, the monks who traveled with him for decades. Krishna Valabdha Swami, Swamishri's cook, often told me, "I can never tell you what he wants to eat. He won't as much let out a hint. It can be confusing sometimes. What am I supposed to make, and how should I prepare it? And even more daunting, he knows his food. He has a palate for expertly prepared Gujarati cuisine, but he will never tell me what he wants." He used to cook for hundreds. Though it was difficult to determine Swamishri's meal preferences, below I tried to identify some of Swamishri's regular food items based on my time traveling with him and serving in the kitchen. Apologies for the plane passing overhead. The Sanskrit word for a light eater is mitahari, which is a fitting description of Swamishri. Shastriji Maharaj, his guru, urged Swamishri to eat well and to eat often. Swamishri was thin. He undertook nirjala fasts 5 to 7 times a month, and when not fasting, Swamishri was still a measured eater. He had a specific way of eating, often taking 2 or 3 morsels or pieces of a vegetable on the tip of his fingers and then placing them in his mouth. As the years passed, his attendants insisted that he eat with a spoon, and he continued to take a similar quantity on his spoon. There were certain vegetables that I saw him eat daily. In the years that I traveled with him and watched the sadhus feed him, I noticed that he ate cauliflower and peas, spinach and yellow mung dal, parvar, which is a pointed gourd, tindora, and ivy gourd, okra, tuver, pigeon peas, broccoli, and at times asparagus. Though we prepared ringam, eggplant, for him, it was not something that he ate regularly and consistently. I often asked the attendants if Swamishri preferred to eat these vegetables, and that is why we prepared them, or if he ate these vegetables because we prepared them. No one ever had a clear answer. Swamishri ate dal, lentil soup, and rice in the afternoon, and khichdi and kadhi in the evening. We used bananas to lightly sweeten his evening kadhi. It had become a custom recipe prepared for Swamishri. After all these years, I realized that Swamishri did not necessarily like the bananas in his kadhi, but that using bananas over cane sugar to sweeten the savory soup was thought to be better for his sugar intake. Swamishri also ate a peculiar form of rotis. 2 of his attendants had developed a method through which they made a fulka roti, a roti fully puffed. They would lower the heat and trap the air in the roti until it settled like an inflated beach ball. I love rotis. I don't know if any of you have had them. They're delicious. This kakro would be hard and crispy once cooled and broken in half. Swamishri would eat a few small pieces of that along with the vegetables. Swamishri ate very little, but ate for a long time. He intentionally did this, not out of his own accord, but because it gave him a chance to interact with the sadhus and bhaktas. the monks and devotees in the centers where he was traveling. Hence, Swamishri often nibbled on small pieces of kakro or papad, chip-like crispy roasted urad flour, during his meals. This allowed him to eat the minimum while maximizing his time interacting with the bhaktas. I have seen him nibble on the same piece of papad about the size of a wafer for over a minute while lost in a conversation with bhaktas. Swamishri preferred savory to sweet, or so I gauged from my observations and conversations. There were 3 savory dishes that Swamishri was served. First, chilla or budla were served to him in the mornings. Second, he ate pieces of 2 steamed savory dishes, idla or dhokla, which are white or yellow steamed gram flour sponge, and palakna patra, steamed spinach leaves layered with gram flour and masala. Again, Swamishri would pick up a small piece and eat it patiently while listening to the bhaktas or sadhus in attendance for his darshan. Alright, I think we're almost done his eating habits. I'll just finish up. As for sweet items, Swamishri was served fresh keri no ras, mango pulp, and shrikhand, strained yogurt with sugar, cardamom, and saffron. He would only have a few spoons during the meal, but there was an appreciation for these simple desserts. There were 2 sweet food items that I have seen him enjoy and share with others over the years. Dudh pak, which is sweet milk porridge with rice and saffron, and puran poli, which is thin rotli with a sweet stuffing. These 2 desserts reminded him of his guru, Shastriji Maharaj. The dudh pak is prepared according to tradition on the day of the anniversary of his guru's passing away. Though he would only take a small amount in his wooden bowl, he plentifully served the sadhus and bhaktas. As his health worsened, he instructed the senior sadhus to serve everyone in memory of his guru. The puran poli also ties back to his guru. I have seen Swamishri eat an entire puran poli, 1 small piece at a time. I assume he was savoring its sweet taste and thought he truly enjoyed the dessert, until he once said to me, "This one is well made. Did you make it?" My guru used to make these. They were so soft and supple that they would break when picked up by an untrained hand. If you were to drop a coin on a pile of 6 of them, it would pass right through. Keep at it. You are close. Swamishri told me to take the rest of the sweet back and eat it as a prasadi, as a sanctified food. I realized that Swamishri's presence or preference in food too was linked to God and Guru. It is one reason that I always made it a point to eat and make khichdi and puran poli. Let's pause our reading of In Love at Ease there for now. So, thank you for listening. Also, at the end of reading this book, I may have an opportunity to interview its author, Yogi Trivedi. And so I wanted to ask all of you if you had any questions which you would like me to ask the author in such a hypothetical interview. What would you like me to ask him about Swamishri or any part of the tradition or the book? And I'd be honored to collate some of my favorite questions and ask them to Yogi. Anyway, thank you.